When I first started working out, I really only thought of working out in the gym, using different machines, a few compound movements, but I never really considered body weight movements too much. But, since I am going to basic training soon, I asked AI to create a plan for me to prepare for that. But, by doing that plan and trying out some of these different exercises, I realized that there's so many different variations of some of these simple, body weight exercises where you can really enable yourself to hit each and every muscle group. So it's like back when I first started training, I just thought it was perfect, to hit each different head of each muscle group, you know what I'm saying, in order to like hit everything equally. And I just thought that was perfect in my head. But at the end of the day, you don't really need to do that, Bodybuilding training is definitely fun. I definitely have a love for bodybuilding training and isolation movements. I love getting stronger at those. And I have the same love for compound movements. But at the end of the day, sometimes not everybody has access to the gym. Not everybody has, the funds to pay for a gym. So, like, even if you do find yourself in a position where bodyweight exercises are really the only thing that you can do, you just kind of have to think outside the box in order to figure out the different variations to hit some of your different muscle groups, you know what I'm saying? And there's also like bodyweight exercises that probably you didn't even know about. Before I started working out, I never would have imagined to do Nordic curls in order to, work your hamstrings. I never even would have thought of that. Like, it's just not something that, it's not really common knowledge. But, if you're really like, okay, I want to take this serious, I want to grow my muscles, you start to like do your research and you figure out about stuff like that. And there is a bodyweight movement for damn near every single muscle group that you can have. Just take push-ups for example, you can do close grip, wide grip, but there's also a reverse grip where your palms are like this instead of like this, and that's going to put like a little bit more emphasis on your biceps. But it's like, man, there's so much you can do. Wide grip pull-ups, close grip pull-ups, and it's very simple, and it's stuff that you can do in your room, you know what I'm saying? You don't need that much space. It's just a lot you can do. But also when it comes to these bodyweight movements, I feel like before I started working out, before I really started getting into programming, I just think, okay, I'm going to do 100 push-ups every single day, 100 sit-ups every single day, and I'm going to run a mile. But, when you start to think a little bit more logically about it, like, let's make a program for this kind of stuff. For example, on my program that I'm doing right now, the first day is strength and cardio. So after I run a half mile, I'm doing 3 sets of push-ups till failure, 3 sets of sit-ups till failure, and 3 sets of pull-ups till failure. I got a great stimulus, I got a great pump, and I was sore the next day. That's really what you're looking for. And if you use an app to program that, you'll progress yourself as you go on. But, that's going to get the job done, you know what I'm saying? But back before I started working out, you never really think of, okay, let me train push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups, like, 3 sets until failure, just like you would tricep push-downs or lat pull-downs, you know what I'm saying? It's just because, like, I just don't really think that level of programming is associated with calisthenic exercises. But, it's not a bad thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot you can do with it, and there's a lot of growth to have there, because if you think about it, let's take lat pull downs for example. 10 to 12 reps of 130 pounds is good. I'm gonna get good work off that. I'm gonna get a good pump off that. But it's really not gonna compare to me pulling my whole body weight, 175 pounds. Well, right now like 183 pounds. For as many as I can. And by putting yourself in the position to, move your body weight as much as you can, you're creating a different kind of strength than you will from isolation movements. It may not create the necessary aesthetic that you're looking for, but you will be getting stronger, and if you continue to do it, that aesthetic will come. It just might look a little bit different. I just want to encourage y'all to utilize your environment, you know what I'm saying? Don't be discouraged because you can't go to the gym like you see a lot of these influencers going, because, they're in the position to do that. You may not be in that position, just like I may not be in that position because I don't have the time. Just be open to utilizing your environment, whether that be the floor or, your wall. There's training out there for everybody to do. You may be going through something, you may still live at home, and at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do, just trying to get swole, just trying to get fit. So, just utilize your environment and take advantage of your situation to the best and get that work in. Another thing, like, I never thought about is, like, everybody thinks about, like, squatting, leg press, hamstring curls, and even the Nordic curls. But, like, if you really think about it, the body weight compound movement that's working your whole muscles for your legs is running. You know what I'm saying? Don't be too hard on your knees. Make sure you have some good shoes. But, like, when you go on a good run, you know what I'm saying, and you have good form, your legs are going to get worked. I'm not necessarily too sure if they're going to get bigger from that, but, they'll definitely get toned over time. But, I'm willing to see. I'm making myself an experiment right now, so I'm going to test out how some of this stuff goes, and I'll keep you guys updated on the physique. But, yeah, man. Take advantage of that environment, get that work in, get fit, get swole, get big, do what you gotta do. Stay consistent in whatever you're doing, whether it be making money, saving money, fitness, nutrition, mental well-being. Stay consistent with it, and you have my word, it's gonna work out. It's your boy, Mal Chilla. Checking out.
Love my mom ever hit the way that she be, we can act shit. got me stripped the
Y'all
fuck
already know
out.
what the
Get the
fuck
fuck out
going,
your
man. Y'all
reverse
niggas
box.
not fucking
Steady
with
get
me.
into that pay, I really just stay out the way.